Let me hit you with the cold, hard truth. When you stop talking to a woman, she will notice. And here's the kicker. She may not react the way you think. She won't be upset or indifferent. She will be intrigued. Women, just like men, are wired for attention. But when you suddenly stop feeding her that attention, the power dynamic shifts, and that's when she starts to wonder. Here's the thing most men don't understand. When you're constantly available to her, you lose your value. But the moment you take a step back and stop chasing her, something strange happens. She starts chasing you. Sounds counterintuitive, right? But that's how attraction works. The more you pull back, the more she leans in. You've probably heard the advice to play it cool or don't seem desperate, but you've never really understood why it works. Well, I'm about to break it down for you, and trust me, you'll want to hear this. When you stop talking to her, it does something to her that you can't achieve by sending texts or making endless calls. It taps into something deeper, something primal. You may think that by ignoring her, you're risking losing her altogether, but the opposite is true. By giving her space, you're actually allowing her to see your value in a way she can't when you're always around. So, if you're ready to stop being a doormat and finally understand the power of no contact, stick around. This isn't just about playing games. This is about reclaiming control over your own life and your relationships. 1. You become mysterious. She wants to know more. When you stop talking to a woman, you create an air of mystery around yourself. Here's the reality. People are naturally drawn to what they can't figure out. When you're always around, always talking, always available, you become predictable, and predictability kills attraction. But when you pull away, you stop giving her the answers she's used to having. Now, she's left wondering what you're doing, who you're talking to, and what's going on in your life. This mystery pulls her in. Women hate feeling like they have you all figured out. The moment you stop engaging so much, they start to feel like there's something deeper about you they don't know. You become a puzzle, something to be solved, and that drives curiosity through the roof. Think about it like this. If a woman always knows exactly where you are and what you're doing, it's boring. But if she's not sure, if you're not texting her back right away or hanging out all the time, she starts to think about you more. She starts to wonder what's going on with you, why you're not so available, and what you're up to. This mental space you create in her mind pulls her focus toward you, making you more attractive. Now, let's get real for a second. You've probably seen this happen in your own life, or at least witnessed it. Imagine a situation where a woman seems to have everything under control, but then suddenly you stop giving her all your attention. You pull back, and suddenly, you have her attention like never before. She starts texting you more often, asking questions and wanting to know your plans. She doesn't want to let you slip through her fingers, because for the first time, you've become an enigma. This isn't just about playing games, it's about your value. When you're too available, you lower your value in her eyes. When you create space, you raise it. The mystery doesn't just make you more intriguing, it makes her realize she's not the one controlling the narrative anymore. It shifts the power in the relationship, and that's when attraction really starts to build. 2. She'll start chasing you, not the other way around. When you stop talking to a woman, something powerful happens. The dynamic shifts. Instead of you constantly chasing her for attention, she starts chasing you. This is one of the most profound effects of pulling back. It creates a sense of imbalance that makes her pursue you. Why? Because people naturally want what they can't have. When you're always available, always chasing, you make it easy for her to take you for granted. But when you step back and stop engaging so much, you trigger something inside her. The fear of losing something valuable. She realizes she doesn't have complete access to you, and that's when her interest shifts from casual to genuine pursuit. Think about the last time you were in a situation where you were too available, constantly texting, calling, or trying to make plans. Now, picture the shift that happens when you suddenly pull away. You'll notice her texting you more, asking about your day, even reaching out when you haven't spoken for a while. This is the moment she begins to chase. When you create space and stop initiating contact, you give her room to realize that you're not chasing her anymore. She'll start doing it. And when she does, it's not just about the attention, it's about proving to herself that she can still win you over. The game becomes about her needing to feel desired by you, to feel like she still has your attention. Now, a lot of men get confused here. They think that they need to stop talking to a woman because they're angry or upset with her. That's not the point. The point is that by giving her the space to chase, you're forcing her to confront her own feelings. She no longer has the luxury of you being the one to always pursue her. The dynamic flips, and the chase becomes her mission, not yours. This shift creates a new attraction, one that's based on her need to win your attention back, rather than the other way around. This isn't manipulation, it's just understanding human behavior. People chase what they can't have, and when you create distance, you stop making yourself an easy target. You force her to put in the effort, and in doing so, you make her realize that you're the one worth chasing. 3. Her interest peaks when you're not always available. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that the more you're there for her, the more she'll appreciate you. You text her right away, you make yourself available at any time, and you think that's what she wants. But here's the truth. The more available you are, the less she values you. When you're constantly available, you become predictable and honestly, a little boring. No one wants to chase something that's already in their hands. But when you pull back a little and don't always make yourself available, her interest naturally spikes. It's human nature to be intrigued by what's hard to get. The less she knows about your availability, the more she has to wonder what you're doing and who you're with. She starts to ask herself, why isn't he texting me back right away? And that's when the intrigue kicks in. The reality is that when you're always there, it doesn't leave room for her to miss you. A little absence makes her realize how much she actually enjoys your presence. This isn't just about playing games, it's about creating a healthy dynamic where she values your time and attention more, because she has to work for it. Now, you might be thinking, but shouldn't I always show her I care? Yes, but there's a difference between showing you care and being so available that she doesn't have to work for your attention. When you're always the first to text, always the first to make plans, you don't give her the chance to earn your attention. And that's a problem. It's not about ignoring her to manipulate her emotions. It's about balancing things out. When you're not always available, you make her appreciate the time you do spend together. Your value increases the moment you stop being so easy to get. When you create space for her to miss you, it brings out a new level of interest. She'll start thinking about you more and wondering what you're up to. She might even find herself reaching out first, curious to get your attention back because she's no longer getting it on a silver platter. So remember, your presence should be a gift. When you're always available, it's not as valuable. When you create distance, she starts to realize how important it is to have you in her life. That's when her interest truly peaks. 4. She'll wonder why you're suddenly so independent. Listen up, guys. Here's the hard truth. A lot of men lose themselves in relationships. They start off strong, doing their own thing, having their own hobbies, goals, and passions. But somewhere along the way, they fall into the trap of putting everything aside to focus entirely on her. And here's the thing. She notices when you stop being independent. When you pull back and start showing you don't need her to feel whole, that's when she'll notice you in a completely new light. When you start doing your own thing, working on your career, spending time with friends, investing in your own personal growth, she'll wonder why you're no longer making her the center of your universe. And that's a good thing. It's easy to think that she wants all your attention all the time, but that's not true. She wants a man who has his own life. She wants someone who's strong, focused, and can handle his own. If you've been one of those guys who bends over backward to make her happy and only lives for her approval, then it's time for a wake-up call. You've lost your power. Think about it. When you're constantly available, always putting her first, you become predictable. You no longer excite her. Why would she chase after someone who's always at her beck and call? You become less attractive when you don't have your own life and identity outside the relationship. Now, here's where you need to wake up. You're supposed to be your own person first. She wants a man who challenges her, who doesn't just drop everything at the sound of her voice. If you've been giving her too much of your time, too much of your energy, and not enough of your own, she starts to wonder where that version of you went. When you show that you're independent, she sees that you have the strength to stand on your own. This triggers something in her. She'll start to chase you because she'll realize that you're not as available as you once were. You've taken back control of your life, and that makes you mysterious, desirable, and strong. The man who is independent, with a life outside of her, is the man she respects. So guys, stop waiting around for her approval and start living for yourself. When you do that, you'll see a change in the way she looks at you. And that's exactly what will make her miss you and want you more. 5. You go from always there to the prize. Here's the real kicker, and trust me, it's game-changing. When you stop being always there for her, you elevate yourself from someone she can take for granted to someone she sees as a prize. Think about it. When you're always available, it becomes predictable. She knows she can call, text, or show up, and you'll drop everything for her. You're no longer a challenge. You've lost the mystery, the excitement. You're like an open book. There's no chase, no effort to be made on her part. In short, you're not valuable anymore because she knows exactly where you stand and what to expect. You're just there. And let's be honest, she needs more than that. When you step back, stop being so easily accessible, and take control of your own life, something incredible happens. You become the prize. It's like you're suddenly the man who has other things going on. Your time is limited, and she knows that she has to make an effort if she wants a piece of it. You've probably seen it. When you stop chasing, stop waiting by your phone, and live your life on your own terms, she starts to wonder what's going on. The roles shift. She starts putting more effort into your interactions because she realizes she can't just take you for granted. She has to earn your attention. That's a massive power shift. You've gone from being the guy who's always there to the guy who's the prize. Now, here's the reality check. This isn't about playing games. It's about self-respect and valuing your own time. You don't have to be rude, distant, or cold, but you do need to start setting boundaries. When you show her that your life is important, that you have a sense of direction, goals, and other interests, you position yourself as someone she has to earn. Let's be clear. Being the prize doesn't mean you're playing hard to get or being fake. It means you're aware of your value and that you're not just sitting around waiting for her to validate you. You've got a life, a mission, and you're not about to throw it all away to chase someone who doesn't chase you back. So stop being always there. Stop being someone who bends to her every whim. Start being the man who's valuable because his time and attention aren't guaranteed. When you do this, you won't just be someone she wants. You'll be someone she needs to work for. And that's how you shift from always there to the prize. 6. She'll test your boundaries. It's a power play. Let's get one thing straight. When you stop talking to her, she'll start testing your boundaries. This is a natural response. Women, especially those who are used to you being around all the time, will try to see if you've truly changed. They'll push your limits to figure out if you're serious or just playing some game. It's a power play. This is where a lot of men mess up. They buckle under pressure. You've been the guy who's always available, always responsive, so now that you've pulled back, she's going to test you. And why? Because she wants to know if you're the kind of man who will stand firm on your boundaries. She wants to see if you'll cave in and go back to the way things were. This is about respect. Respect for your time, your energy, and your emotions. The truth is, women are attracted to men who have strong boundaries. When you set limits and stick to them, it shows you have control over your life. It signals to her that you are not easily swayed or manipulated. This creates intrigue because she sees you as someone who isn't going to settle for anything less than what he deserves. You become more desirable because you're not just handing her your time and attention on a silver platter. But here's where most men mess up. They're afraid of losing her, so they let her push and break down their boundaries. They think that if they don't give in, she'll walk away. This is a major mistake. The reality is, the more you give in, the less respect she'll have for you. Women want men who can hold their ground. If you keep letting her test you and get away with it, you're telling her you don't value your own limits. Now, let's look at this from a real-life perspective. Imagine you've been texting her a lot, but you decided to take a step back and focus on your own life. She notices the shift and starts testing you by sending a text at odd hours, expecting an immediate reply. This is where you need to hold your ground. If you give in and respond instantly, you've lost all the progress you've made. But if you take your time, don't respond immediately, and show that your time is valuable, she'll start respecting your boundaries, and your attraction to her will increase. So, don't get caught up in the test. Stand firm on your boundaries and show her you are in control. It's a power play, and when you win, you gain her respect and admiration. 7. She'll start texting first, because you're not chasing her. Here's a game-changing truth. When you stop chasing her, she'll start chasing you. Sounds simple, right? But it's more powerful than you think. When you stop constantly reaching out, texting, or checking in with her, something starts to shift. You go from being the guy she can always count on to someone who has mysterious value, and that's exactly what she wants. The moment you pull back and stop putting all your energy into contacting her, you create space. You stop being available at the drop of a hat. When this happens, you start shifting the dynamic in the relationship. This isn't about playing games. It's about reclaiming your value and independence. Let's face it, most men are guilty of chasing. They think they have to text constantly, reply instantly, and be available whenever she wants. But here's the truth that a lot of men refuse to accept. Chasing her makes you seem desperate and predictable. It devalues your time and attention. When you stop chasing her, you're signaling that you have other priorities, and she's not the center of your universe. When you create that space, something happens. She starts to wonder why you're not constantly texting, why you're not always available. She'll be curious. That curiosity fuels desire. Women don't want a man who's always around, ready to respond to every text. They want a man who's living his own life, who's busy doing something worth his time. And this makes them want to text first, initiate contact, and show you that they're still interested. It's natural for her to test how much you value her. When you're no longer giving her the same energy, she'll be the one to put herself out there. You'll see her texting first, asking how your day is going, or even initiating plans. This shift in dynamic works because it puts her in the position of chasing. And when she chases, she's valuing you more. Remember, this isn't about manipulation. It's about reclaiming your own power. When you stop chasing her, you stop chasing validation. And when you stop doing that, she starts to see you as the man who doesn't need her to validate his worth. This creates real attraction. Now, let's keep it real. It's uncomfortable to stop chasing. You've probably done it for so long that you don't even realize you're doing it. But when you make that conscious choice to pull back, you force her to step up. You've created a shift, and soon enough, she'll be the one texting you first. 8. She'll respect you more. Space creates desire. Here's the reality. When you stop smothering her with attention, you start commanding more respect. It sounds counterintuitive, but it's one of the most powerful dynamics in attraction. Space creates desire, and when you stop giving her all of yours, you become someone she can't take for granted. When you're always available, always there for her, it's easy for her to start taking you for granted. She knows that no matter what, you'll drop everything to give her your attention. It becomes predictable and, frankly, a little boring. But when you create some space, you start becoming unpredictable. You stop being so easy to figure out, and that's when things start to change. This shift is huge because it makes her respect you more. Respect isn't about trying to control her or demanding anything in return. It's about valuing your own time and energy. When you pull back, it sends a clear message that your time is precious, and she can't just have it whenever she wants. It makes you look more desirable, not because you're playing games, but because you're living your life with purpose. When she sees that you're not constantly reaching out, not always there to entertain her, it forces her to see you in a new light. You're no longer just a guy who's available when it's convenient for her. You're someone who's pursuing your own goals, your own life, and your own happiness. And when she sees that, she starts respecting you. This doesn't mean you should ignore her completely or play hot and cold. It's about creating balance. You still care, but you're not over-investing in a way that makes you seem desperate or lacking in confidence. You've got your own life. And when she sees you living it, she respects that strength. It's the simple truth. People respect those who respect themselves. So when you stop chasing her for attention and start focusing on your own path, you'll notice that her respect for you grows. Space isn't a sign of disinterest, it's a sign of value. And when she feels that, she'll respect you more than if you're constantly in her face, trying to gain her approval. Space is power. It keeps her interested, and more importantly, it keeps the respect alive. 9. The fear of loss makes her take action. Let's be honest, guys. Most of you are stuck in the trap of being too available, always there for her, always ready to please. But here's the truth. The fear of loss is one of the most powerful emotions that drive women's actions. If you're not creating that fear, you're not giving her any reason to step up. When you don't give her the space to realize what she might lose, she won't feel the need to act. Right now you might be thinking, but I'm doing everything right. I'm showing her how much I care. Well, here's the problem. Care is not the same as attraction. Overcare can lead to complacency. It removes the urgency. The fear of loss creates urgency, and urgency is what keeps her attention on you. Wake up, guys. You're not doing her any favors by being a constant presence in her life. She needs to see that you have other options, whether that's your career, your passions, or even other women. This isn't about playing games. This is about her realizing you're a prize. When you give her that space and stop always being available, she'll start feeling the fear of losing you. Think about it. When you make yourself less predictable and stop overgiving, you make her realize your value. She'll be forced to take action, to step up, and to chase you because suddenly you're no longer just waiting around for her. You're a man who understands his worth, and you're not afraid to walk away if it's not being appreciated. And let's face it, men, you're letting the fear of loss drive her to action, not the other way around. When you stop fearing the possibility of her pulling away, you'll see her invest more into the relationship. She won't be able to help it. It's human nature. We all fear what we might lose. So stop chasing her, start focusing on yourself, and let the fear of loss do the rest. You need to realize that being constantly available doesn't make her want you more. It makes her take you for granted. Create a little space. Let her miss you. Watch her take action when she realizes you're no longer just waiting around. She'll step up, but only when you stop acting like she's the only one that matters. 10. She realizes she can't control you. That's when she wants you more. Here's a hard pill to swallow, guys. When you let a woman feel like she has control over you, you're already losing her. This is where most men go wrong. They're so eager to please, to be there for her every need, that they forget the most important rule in attraction. Control isn't sexy. Women want a man who stands strong, who is unpredictable, who doesn't bend to their every whim. And when you give her the space to feel like she can't control you, that's when her interest skyrockets. It's in those moments of independence and assertiveness that you shift from being just another guy in her life to someone she's genuinely interested in. Let's get something clear. It's not about being rude or dismissive. It's about not letting her dictate your actions or emotions. When you're always available, always responding the way she wants, you're essentially showing her that you'll follow her lead. And that's not attractive. It's like being on a leash. She controls your actions, and that makes you predictable. And guess what happens with predictability? Boredom. But here's the secret. When she realizes she can't control you, her attraction increases because you become the prize. She'll respect you more. She'll want you more. It's like flipping a switch. When you stop catering to her every demand and start doing your own thing, she'll be forced to chase you. She'll want to know why you're not jumping when she snaps her fingers. She'll want to be the one to win your attention, not the other way around. Guys, it's time to wake up. You can't be so invested in her that you forget your own worth. You can't let her dictate your schedule or emotions. When you stop being predictable and start focusing on what makes you happy, you'll notice her chasing you more. She'll see that you have a life outside of her, and that's what makes you valuable. When she can't control you, that's when she'll want you more. So, stop making her feel like you're at her beck and call. Don't be afraid to stand firm. Let her chase you. Let her work for your attention. When she realizes she can't control you, she'll respect you more, and most importantly, she'll want you more. 10. She realizes she can't control you. That's when she wants you more. Here's a hard pill to swallow, guys. When you let a woman feel like she has control over you, you're already losing her. This is where most men go wrong. They're so eager to please, to be there for her every need, that they forget the most important rule in attraction. Control isn't sexy. Women want a man who stands strong, who is unpredictable, who doesn't bend to their every whim. And when you give her the space to feel like she can't control you, that's when her interest skyrockets. It's in those moments of independence and assertiveness that you shift from being just another guy in her life to someone she's genuinely interested in. Let's get something clear. It's not about being rude or dismissive. It's about not letting her dictate your actions or emotions. When you're always available, always responding the way she wants, you're essentially showing her that you'll follow her lead. And that's not attractive. It's like being on a leash. She controls your actions, and that makes you predictable. And guess what happens with predictability? Boredom. But here's the secret. When she realizes she can't control you, her attraction increases because you become the prize. She'll respect you more. She'll want you more. It's like flipping a switch. When you stop catering to her every demand and start doing your own thing, she'll be forced to chase you. She'll want to know why you're not jumping when she snaps her fingers. She'll want to be the one to win your attention, not the other way around. Guys, it's time to wake up. You can't be so invested in her that you forget your own worth. You can't let her dictate your schedule or emotions. When you stop being predictable and start focusing on what makes you happy, you'll notice her chasing you more. She'll see that you have a life outside of her, and that's what makes you valuable. When she can't control you, that's when she'll want you more. So, stop making her feel like you're at her beck and call. Don't be afraid to stand firm. Let her chase you. Let her work for your attention. When she realizes she can't control you, she'll respect you more, and most importantly, she'll want you more.